I love this stamp set. It was a lot of fun to make. Meadow and I both did the clothes because the overalls were a little bit of a challenge for me. So we both did them. So I'll be coloring the entire stamp set today. Let me just see here. Here comes Meadow. You want to hand me my cards, kiddo? I didn't get those. Give me yours too. So here is a card that Meadow made using Meadow and her Heifers. Isn't that cute? I love that. Say hi if you're watching, because I don't know who's here or if I'm just talking to myself. And it looks like I'm talking to myself. I don't know if everybody can hear me or not. I think they can. Oh, hey, Megan, how are you? I'm glad somebody can. You can hear me, right? Because my little microphone, the little line isn't going up and down. And Meadow has made a mess of my markers, so this will be fun. Hi, Deborah. Oh, good. I'm glad you can hear me. Hi, Susie. So here's Meadow's card. Here's my card that we've made so far. So lots of fun. I love Meadow's coloring. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. So Meadow, I'm going to try and get her. I don't think she's quite ready for a live. She keeps looking at me with like a, I don't know what kind of face that is, but it's not a good face. So, but I'm going to see if she'll do like a pre-recorded video or something to show everybody how she did her no, because she's awesome at no line coloring. I love it. Oh, good. I'm glad you got your stamps, Michelle. Because sometimes I wonder if people are actually getting their emails. So I always wonder if it goes to the junk or not, or the spam folder. So it looks like we have quite a few people here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So Meadow used just Meadow and her Heifers. For some reason, the word heifer just makes us laugh. So but Meadow and her Heifers. And then I actually used 3 stamp sets. This is this one, and the chicken. That is Barnyard Chicks. And then the sun and the tractor, the sheep, and the horse are from Tractor Rides. And then the little cow is from Meadow and her Heifers. So all 3 stamp sets. The only stamp set I didn't use was Steven and his barn buddies. I can't wait to color those pigs, though. And I believe, are we doing Tractor Rides next week or Steven and his buddies?
I use Tractor Rides and then Steven and his buddies.
Okay, so next Saturday is Tractor Rides. And then the week after that, it's Steven and his barn buddies. So I'm going to put those aside. And we will get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start on Meadow because Meadow takes the longest. Not my real life Meadow, just this one. So I'm going to start out with her skin. I'm going to use, this is E11. Trying to, let's see. Is the screen bright enough or do you guys want me to turn on a light? I mean, it's pretty bright in here. Meadow, why don't you open that curtain for me so that way it's a little bit brighter for everybody else because I don't know what it looks like on their screen.
It's super bright.
Is it bright, Meadow?
But this will make it better.
Okay. Oh, that's even better opening my curtain. Okay, so we're going to start with E11. And I'm just going to go real thin, just around her hair. I'm just going to do the shadows. Now, I know a lot of people color chibi stuff differently. But this right here, just for anybody who doesn't know or is wondering, this black right here is supposed to be her eyelashes. So this right in here is actually the white part of her eye. And this is just her eyeball. I know a lot of people color that bit in thinking this is like her eyebrows or something. But no, that's her eyelashes. So I'm going to stay away from her eyeballs. And she has a little speck for a nose, but I'm going to go ahead and put a little nose in there. It's like just a little L. And then I'm going to get this side of her face. And I'm going to get the top of her ear from her hair and then get just the inside of her ear. And then I'll go ahead and get this side. There we go. And then I'm going to get underneath her chin. And I'm going a little slow today, just because I'm shaking a lot. So if I go out the lines, you'll have to forgive me. Or if this takes forever. So I'm going to get right underneath her shirt, her sleeve, and on the back side of her arm that's closest to her body, and her thumb, and then get underneath that finger and the fingers underneath there. You got yours too, Susie? Oops, I'm going out of... No, I don't want to... Meadow, you need to tell me if I go off the screen.
Sorry. You were just on the screen a second ago.
Okay.
You were just on the screen a second ago.
Okay. So this one, I'm going to go to the inside. I'm going to pretend like the sun is coming from this side of her. Hopefully I can stay with that, because sometimes I'll just get to coloring and then I'll totally forget where the sun is supposed to be at. And it just looks like the sun's all over the place because, well, those of you who know me don't know I just like to have fun when I color. I don't really pay too much attention to that. I just like to have a good time. So I'm going to go underneath her pants. I'm going to get this side of her leg, get her knee a little bit, because if the sun's coming this way, her knee on this side is going to be blocking. There we go. And we'll get this side of her knee and get her foot and underneath her little pants. I think I got everything. Oh, I missed her ear. The inside. There.
Deborah said I donated and picked FF. What's that?
Deborah, what's FF, honey? And you know what? This needs to focus more because you can't even... I'm going to focus my camera really fast. So if you get sick on that kind of stuff, look away. Look away. There we go. Now you guys can see a little better. Let me see. Oh, Deborah just ordered. Do you want to go ahead and fill her order so she can have her stamps, Meadow?
Yeah.
Meadow will get that for you, Deborah. Oh, gotcha.
Oh, you get comments faster than I do too.
Oh, no, Deborah, the email will be, you got your receipt, but the email with the downloads will be different. So you'll actually get 2 emails. So Meadow's getting your email right now. So she will get that, and you'll be able to color along with us. So now I'm going to go ahead and use, and thank you so much for the donation, by the way, all of you. Thank you so much. That is like, today I was so bad. One of the gals who came to retreat this year, she's coming to retreat next year. She messaged me because she donated too. And I said, is it bad? I said, I want to go work on the barn doors instead of doing a live today, which for me, that's a lot to not want to color, that I want to go work on barn doors. So bad. But I'm happy that when I do my lives, because I get to talk and see, well, I get to talk to all of you. I don't get to see you, but I get to talk to you. So I'm just going over the E11. But I'm really excited about getting the barn done so that we can do retreats and girls' weekends. It's going to be fun. So just going over the lines just a little bit. I'm not going out super, super far. Trying to keep my big old fat hand out of your way. Kimberly. Hi, Kimberly, honey. Yes, everybody should come to retreat. We only have 8 seats left, though, Kimberly. So that's exciting as well. Well, 8 seats for in person. Virtual, we can have as many as we want. So, but it's super, super exciting. I'm really happy that we're selling out and in person. Everybody will get to see the barn. I'll have to show you guys the lights. I'm going to need a bigger barn. I am going to need a bigger barn. We have room for a bigger barn, but... Okay, Deborah, Kimberly just said that, or Kimberly, I have you on the brain. Oh my goodness. Meadow sent the email. So you want to check your email, honey. So that was E21. Now I'm looking for my next marker, which is going to be R20. There they are. Okay. Here we go. R20. So I'm just going to get some of her little cheekies here. So these lines right here, the line underneath with the 2 little arrows coming out, those are her bottom eyelashes. So I'm going to go to the bottom part of her eyelashes, and again, staying out of that white space of her eyeball. And I do go up just a little bit, like up there with the blush, just so it kind of looks like her face connects to her head. I see a lot of the blush, and it always looks like there's 2 pieces. The way I used to do it a long time ago, looked like there was a top part of her head, and you just put it together like a hamburger buns or something. It was funny. So I quit doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and use R30 just to soften that up a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to use, where's my E00. So E00, I'm not going to come out all the way because I'm still going to use E000. So, but right here is where I pull out a little bit of her cheeks and I go around the white part of her eye. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill this part of her shirt in, because between her hat and her chin, she's not going to get a whole lot of sun right there. I'm going real small on her, just kind of just going like this, just making dots. I'm not really putting a whole lot of color in there at all. I'm going to come out a little bit further because this leg, she's only going to have a little bit of sun coming around. Like if you look at a cup, you'll see that the sun comes around it from the back side. So that's what we're doing with this foot. And now I'm going to use my E000. Meadow and I have been doing a lot of coloring lately, so I have. She's been spending time with her rabbit. So she's done a little bit of coloring. But do you use E000, Meadow? Nope, she doesn't even use E000. So I'm just finishing out her face, smoothing out those lines, getting the rest of her little ears. There we go. And her skin is all done. So her eyes are really easy. Her eyes, I'm going to use B000, B01, and B05, and C1. So I'm going to start off with B05, and I'm just going to do the top half of her eyeball. Then I'm going to use B01, and I'm going to pull the B05 out, but I'm still leaving a little bit of space at the bottom. So I'm like just very, very small. There we go. And then I'll finish her eye out with B000. And I'm going to go ahead and go all the way up and kind of just blend them all together. Now the C1, if you look at somebody's eye, even if you look at a photo of somebody's eye, their eyelid is going to give them a little bit of shadow on their eye. So that's what this black part is here. So it kind of gives you a guide as to where to put the C1. For a little bit of shadow on their eye. Then you can use, so you can see there's 3 little shine lines in her eyeballs. So you want to go ahead and take a white gel pen and you can put those back in, because if you're like me, you just colored right over the top of it.
Mariah said good afternoon from Barcelona, Spain.
Well, hello in Barcelona, Spain. Is it Mariah? Is that how you say your name? We want to make sure we get that right. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a little sparkle in her eye. A little sparkle in her eye. So let's see, it's probably beautiful in Barcelona right now. that there. So now for her clothes, and I colored her yesterday, but I did not put down the color. So that's how I colored her yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was the day before. I'm not sure anymore. So my days are running together. So I'm going to go ahead and give her brown hair this time. Or do you guys want to see the blonde hair? I'll go ahead and start on her hat, and you guys can tell me what color hair you want me to try and do. So I'm going to go ahead and use, what colors did I use? That's E40s. So I'm going to start out with E43, if I can find it. Let's see. When I said we we're going to just wing it and have a good time, I totally meant that. What, Meadow?
Mariah said this stamp is so beautiful. Well, I love all your stamps. And the Lazy Days stamp and said brown.
Okay, Lazy Days is Megan, the one that lives here. Okay, so brown hair. And we're going to go with E43 on her, starting up on her hat.
Susie said red.
I think I have another one printed out, so I could actually do both red and brown. What color red, Susie? Do you want like an auburn red or like a fire red? What color red you want? So this right here. Oh, and thank you, Mariah, so much. I'm glad you like the stamps. I have a lot of fun making them. This right here on her hat, this is actually a ribbon, like a bow or a ribbon. Auburn hair. Okay, auburn hair it is. Let's see. And I'm just going to get under her hat. Because this is like kind of coming up a little bit. That's why I put the shadow right there. And then this is going to be a lot of shadow since the sun is coming this way. And my marker is a bit dry. This one definitely needs a refill. And then we're going to use E42. And it's so funny. You guys would laugh if you were here because I've been looking. I have this has all my markers. It's whenever I use markers, I put them in this thing. So I've been looking everywhere in those for the markers. But then when I got to the E42, after I used them, I actually put them away. So that's why it took me a little bit longer to find these ones. Why is it that when you put things away, it takes you longer sometimes to find them? So just pulling out that E43, smoothing out that line. With the E42. This is going to be a little bit darker, even though the sun, because it's going to hit her hat. So there's not going to be much light coming through right there. And then we have E41. And I may need a refill on this one too. Goodness. I didn't realize it's been used so much in the last few days. So I'm just finishing the hat out with the E41. I am going to go back in with E44 just as a contrast color. Because you can see right along here, I put the E44. I didn't really pull it out that much. And right along here and in here so that it would look, you know, it would just make it stand out more. So you'll see if I just put a nice thin line right here, it just makes the brim of her hat come out a little bit. So, and then I can put a little bit along the bottom here. And then right along her hair, that way it'll make the hair, it'll just make it look like the brim goes back around a little more. And then I'm going to go just around the bow. And then again, right along her hair. And along the brim of her hat. And I'm just rounding it a little bit right there. So I'm going to use E42.
Deborah said, got the email. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. I'm glad. So now you can print them out and color along with us. So I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. That way it'll kind of blend instead of being so harsh. Make it a little bit softer, but still make it look like it's coming out a little bit. There we go. Bless you, Meadow. So there is her hat. Now we're going to move on to the hair. And we're going to do, well, I didn't do the strip, but I'll do, you can see I made it match her shirt. So I'll do that. Bless you, Meadow. When I do her shirt. So for right now, we're going to do her hair. So I'm going to start out with, let's start out with E25. How do you resize the images to make them smaller? My girl came out huge. So one of the nice things about digital images is when they're really big like that, you can make them any size that you want to. You can make them smaller, you can make them bigger. It really depends on what program that you're using. Digital images really give you kind of a freedom. But if you want it to be the same size as this one, there is a JPEG and a PNG file that has the entire stamp set just like this, and it will be sized correctly. Deborah, what program are you using? I do have a video on digital images and how to use them if you want that. Just let me know. But this one will print out exactly this size if you do the whole set together. And I think it's actually called the set. It'll have the name and the set name. So I'm going to use E25. And I'm just going to do some flicks down from her hat. And And I'm doing a little bit here because this hair comes down a little bit in front of the hair in the back that's in a braid. And then we're going to get right here next to her little bang hair. We're going to get the stuff that's behind her head. And then this, her braids, I'm going to get just a little bit on the outside. But I'm actually just going to go right down the middle and then do the little lines that are in the center, because that's just easier for me. And then I'm going to get the other side. And again, this is going to come just a little bit because the sun's supposed to be hitting that, right? So, and then I'm going to go ahead and go right down the center to get this size.
I would love it. I did find other images, just didn't scroll down enough, was in a hurry to get going.
You're cute, Deborah. I adore you already. Yeah, so I will go ahead. Meadow, you have Deborah's email. Can you find the link for the digital images if you go into my content? Just look up digital and then you'll find it on YouTube. Oh, you might not hear. Do it on my phone. There you go. Deborah, Meadow's going to email you that link as soon as she finds it. She's not used to doing that stuff on my phone, so just give her a couple of minutes. So I have, let's see. Oops, I got to get the end of her ponytail here. So I'm just going to get the tops and then get underneath her arm a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and flip her around. I'm really sorry. I hope this doesn't make you guys sick. Move that over there.
How long ago was that video?
It was a long time ago. Like a couple years ago. So, and if you have a Mac or a PC, this video will cover both options. Also, if you have Silhouette, or I don't know about Cricut because I don't know that much about Cricut. So if anybody here has a Cricut and can speak to this, I'd really appreciate it. But you can also put the images in your Silhouette software and size them that way, and then print them out from your Silhouette software as well. So just getting all the bottoms now. And most of you know this, some of you may not, but I tend to go, I do the top and then I do the bottom. That way I don't have to worry about where the middle shine line is, because that will come naturally if you're going top to bottom, because you'll leave that white space in the center. So here's where I will go ahead and get the inside bits of her braid. And then I'm just going to get the ends here a little bit. And then here's the inside of this braid. You finding it, kiddo? Here. Let me take just a second because I can find it faster. Here, Meadow. No. Here, you go search. Digital. Wait, what? Girl, you in the wrong. No wonder she's not finding it.
You said on YouTube.
I have YouTube Studio right here, kiddo. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Does anybody else want this as well while I'm looking it up?
Let me put it in the barn raiser group.
Yeah, put it in the barn raiser group. Because then it'll be in there for everybody.
You're still coloring.
Am I still coloring? That's hysterical. Okay, there's the link. Okay. she got the link. There we go. Okay, so I think it's just because I'm used to I'm used to looking that up, so I think it's just really fast for me. I know where it's at.
And this is how to resize the images, right?
Yeah. Susie, struggling with the light-handed flick, comes out too heavy. Okay, remember this is like a paintbrush. It's not a crayon. That's what I tell even Meadow, because Meadow was pushing down really hard. So like take your finger, okay, and just lightly, like that's how light I'm pushing. Like it just tickles my finger. I'm not actually making a mark on my finger. It's just tickling. If it just tickles your finger, then that will get your light strokes. But it takes loads of practice. Now my finger's going to be brown. But it's just, that's also, I know a lot of, like Meadow, she holds hers right here. If you hold it back a little bit, you still have control. But it will also, like you can see, I don't hang onto my markers that tight. I just kind of let it flow and let my fingers just, it's just like a paintbrush. And I have more control if I pull, because see, look, here's a piece of scratch. So if I pull, these are the flicks that I get, okay? And you can tell if I'm pushing down, I'm going to get, that's me pushing down. So, but if I just like a paintbrush, and you can tell I'm not getting something every single time because I'm not touching my paper very hard at all. But if I push away, I'm getting this. And that's even with like using it as a paintbrush, like barely touching. So you might want to try and figure out if you're pushing or you're a puller or a pusher. But I hold my pen back here just because I can get those light strokes and I'm not tempted to push down. So just remember, it's a paintbrush. What's his name? Bob. What's the guy? The happy trees. Embrace Bob Ross. Embrace your happy trees. I never remember his last name is Ross. I always just remember Bob and happy trees. So now I'm just going to go ahead and get, this is E23. I think yep, the pen's up there. Okay. There we go. Yeah, just do a lot of practice. Do a lot of pushing or pulling and just practice your flicks. But it's just a lot of practice. And I'm still leaving a little bit of white in here. So getting all the E23 in there. And I'm just kind of going in between or trying to go in between the E25. I'm not trying to go completely over it. Here we go. Oops, I didn't get the bottom half of her bangs, but that's okay. It'll work out. And this piece right here should be a little bit lighter just because the sun's going to hit it. So that works out too. I'm going to flip her around. And I'm going to try and go in between the E25. And honestly, you guys, I didn't start holding my pen like this until I started doing videos. And my flicks have gotten even small, like thinner. So I really think holding it back and not holding it quite as tight and just holding my pen backwards so that I didn't have my fat little fingers in your way really helped a lot too. So that was E23. Now I'm going to go and use E21. And I'm going to fill in the white bits because I'm not someone who leaves white bits. If you want to leave your white bits, please feel free. You do not need to color them in like I do. Because that's one thing everybody's like, how did you do this? How do you, and I, coloring is totally personal preference on what you like to do. It's like we all watch other people and do things and learn from different types of people. And then we create our own style of what we like to do. Like I've been to COPIC training to be an instructor. I have gone to Jen Dove's boot camp, which I love. She was so much fun. But I still just kept, and I've also taken Elise Keegan's classes.
Kimberly said that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it is definitely the beauty of it. So, but I've done the kitten clouder classes and stuff like that. But I still just find myself finding my own way and doing my own thing. But I still find myself reverting back to the instructor that I had for my COPIC certification classes. Her and I just have a similar taste, even though she's not coloring anymore. But I just keep going back and reverting back to what she taught me because it just feels good to me. It makes a lot of sense and it feels good and I like it. So you'll find the things that you like and the things that you don't like, and then you'll go with it. So let's see. Now I want E27. And look at that. I actually put it away. So E27 I'm going to use as a contrast color. Just like here, you can see that there's a little bit of contrast to make the blonde stand out a little bit more. And that's E55 that I used to do that. All the markers for blonde are E50, E51, E53, and E55. So it's just those 4 markers. Meadow, you want to write those in there in case anyone wants them?
What was
it? She wasn't even paying attention to me, you guys.
E50.
Blonde hair. So E50, E51, and E50, or 3 and E55.
So all the 50s.
Yep, all the 50s. Well, not all of them. So this is E27 that I'm working with now. And I'm pretty much just going over where the lines in the hair are. That way it looks like the hairs are overlapping each other. Oh, I saw that you put that up there, Meadow, but I didn't see that it was you. So I was like, oh, hey, look, somebody already got that up there.
You're not paying attention to me. Megan said, I agree with everything you just said. I've watched and taken many classes and still do things the way it feels right.
Yep. Definitely do what feels right to you and what feels good to you. Because there's so many. Like Elise is amazing. Jennifer Dove is amazing. and I love the way they color. I love how they do the darkness and, you know, how they really get that detail in there. But that's not me. I'm more like cutesy cartoony, I guess you would say. So I don't do the realism all that much. I can if the stamp calls for it, but it's not really me too much. Actually, Meadow, it is up there. You want to get the guy with the wolves? Meadow's going to get you a sample of what I've done as far as like really detailed and stuff like that. When I color Aurora wings, those ones I get really detailed with. So just get back here behind her neck because that's going to be really dark. So here's one I did years ago. I mean, it's bent because it's been sitting up there for so long. But this is one that I did years ago. And this is probably about as close as I get to realism. So this one took me a couple of days to do. This one took a really long time. And the color has faded a little bit over the years. Because I did this, what, Meadow? Probably 6 years ago? 5, 6 years ago. So that's about as close as I get to realism. This is more my style. That one I did, the guy with the wolves, I did that one when I was on the design team. And the theme for that week was ice. So that's the reason I ended up doing that one. So I'm getting in between her little bits of braid. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to flip her around. So sorry. But I want to get right in here. And I'm going to get right in the bits of her braid.
Everybody's loving your card. Would you already read those?
No, thank you, Megan. Thank you, Deborah. Or Debbie. Deborah. No, it's Deborah.
Kimberly.
Yeah, Deborah. No, I saw Kimberly's. I said thank you. So just getting in there. And this right here, when there's small bits, this is where the light, just a light touch and the thin flicks come in handy because then you can really get that detail in there. So I'm going to get right here, but I'm only going to get in between this one right here and that's in the center. That way the other two look like they're coming forward a little bit. And then I'm going to get right
you're just now putting
here.
Your card up there.
Oh, am I?
Unless you put it up there twice.
No, I didn't.
So what were they saying incredible about?
Probably that. I don't know. Maybe your tablet's just behind.
Maybe. Let me go out and go back in. Yeah, because you're doing hair now. And she said, you can call me Debbie.
There we go. So I'm going to get in right here. You can tell that there's a little bit just to bring that forward. And then this one doesn't have as much light, so I'm going to put a little bit more on this one. So you want to know what's super great? Red hair, the auburn, the nice dark auburn hair or the pretty auburn, that has just a touch of red in it. You can use either E08 or E09 or E19, depending how dark you want it. But I use the same, when I do it, I use the same colors. So this is E09. Okay. Whoops. This is E19. There's not a huge difference, but there is a subtle difference if you're looking in person. So you might want to get your markers and do this. And then here's E08. This one's a little bit brighter. So I usually go in with E19, but I think this time I'm going to go in, whoops, as I grab the E19, I'm going to grab the E09 and watch. Same colors, but if you go in between real light, you now have auburn hair instead of brown. Isn't that fun? And it's just amazing what the difference that one marker can make. And I'm just going in really lightly for some highlights. And that's another nice thing about the lighter flicks and the thinner flicks is you can just go in and do highlights.
Megan said that's cool. And Kimberly said looks amazing.
Thank you, ladies. But it's really fun. And you can do this, like you could put blue in there if you wanted. You could put in pink. You could put in any color that you wanted. I mean, it's like going to the hairdressers and getting highlights put in your hair. But it's amazing what a little bit of a, I love doing this with different colors. You can even do this with like, you've seen people do like the blue black. You can do that, or yeah, Megan, purple hair. You can do it that way as well. But now she has auburn hair instead of brown. So like this one, I could always just take, let's see, Meadow has always wanted to put a little bit of pink in her hair. Where are my pink markers? Here we go. Where is Meadow? Did you eat the RV10?
Yep.
Here we go. Here it is. So you could even go into.
Is it just me or is Carmela's thinking big?
It's you.
I feel like it's not as big.
So in her blonde hair, this is just RV10. But you could just lightly feather in some pink. And it's just a nice light little pink. Oh, nope, I smell it now too, Meadow.
Ew.
Here we go. And now she has blondish pink hair. looks, Meg? Oh, you're fine, Susie. But it's amazing what one marker can do. So, I mean, you could even, let's see, I don't want B01. Let's try B00. Could even go back in, say you wanted to change your mind. And there's a little bit of blue on that side. So you can change it to whatever color you want, add a little bit of a color, just feather it in, and it will look fantastic. So it's awesome what one little color can do. Yeah, definitely, Meg. It's a little change, just one marker, but it completely changes the look. So now, let's see. Now I'm going to go ahead and do, let's see. I think I'll put her in yellow. Which Meadow just looked up at me because she knows I don't use yellow very often unless it's like a sun or stars or something like that. Yellow is not my jam at all, but I think she would look wonderful in yellow. So I'm just looking. Here it is. So I'm going to start off with Y18. And I wanted to make the band of her hat match and her bow match. And then we'll match her shirt. And this is just like a little bit of a shadow contrast color. I did just color in all of this bit right here. Whoops, I'm off camera. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get right next to this and just get those shadowed areas. Get her shoulder on this side. That's definitely not getting any light. Getting above her little bib.
Drink water.
Excuse my Alexa. He tells me to, I actually named mine Ziggy, and he tells me to drink water, if you guys could hear that. Because I get to coloring and I'm not paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. And so he reminds me. And yes, he even reminds me to cook my family dinner. So here's my Y13. I'm just pulling out the Y18. And I'm actually finishing out her sleeves pretty much. I am leaving a little bit of white on this side for the sun coming around the back side of her. And then I'm just going to pull this out slightly. And then my last color will be Y11. And I'm just finishing out her shirt and finishing out her hat. Then I'm going to put a little bit of Y11 on her little hair tie. And then a little bit on this one. But only because I forgot that one. So now I'm going to go back to this hair tie with a little bit of Y13. And I'm just putting little dots. I'm not actually flicking on that one. So let's see. The last thing we have left for her is her overalls. So I just did the classic jean overalls. which is going to be more markers than I've been using. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with B91. Sorry, I took a little drink of water. So B91. And I'm just going to fill in the whole thing. It just, when I go ahead and do the whole thing like this, it's usually because I want the other colors to not be as dark or to change the color combination that I'm using. I am going to show you guys one little trick though while I'm doing this. I'm going to grab, where is it? Here it is, my E21. And I'm going to put a little circle right here. And I'm just going to go around it. Not going to color that in. And this was a trick that I learned from my friend Tina, who taught at retreat this last year. And she's actually coming in person for 2025. So that'll be a lot of fun. Now I'm going to use B97. I'm going to put a little bit of a line just over the cuff of her pants. And just right at the belt of her pants. And I'm going to put one right on that line that's separating everything out. And I'm going to get right here. I never understood why they put that right there on pants when we didn't have a zipper. But I put it there anyway. And then we'll go ahead and put some in her pockets. And right around that circle I made, I'm going to put a little bit more. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a line here. And I'm just putting in where like shadow lines that I want in. So I'm going around her pocket. I'm going to put a little dots at the shoulder straps.
Kimberly said Tina is amazing, and Susie said that. I don't know what that is. Oh.
Use a,
Alright, I used Google Slides. Someone suggested to draw a rectangle. It will show the dimensions as you draw. Then put your stamp on top of the rectangle to get size you want, and then delete the rectangle.
That's a lot of work.
I didn't do that.
It works though, but that's a lot of work. Holy mac and cheese.
Susie said that's the part I find challenging, outlining the lines with my COPIC.
Here we go. Well, and as soon as you get this part, like the flicks, as soon as you get the flicks down, that will help a lot. That will definitely help. So I'm just going around where I put the E97. and just filling that in a little bit. I'm not getting this side because the sun will hit that. And I'm leaving a little bit right here. Her arm might block some of it, but I'm trying to imagine where it would hit. And then don't forget her pocket, because I almost did. Then I'm going to use my E93. And I'm going to finish this out. And I'm still trying not to go into that circle. So there we go. Just get our little straps. Now I'm going to use E99. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the top of her pocket. I'm going to get that line, because I don't know if you guys remember or if you had overalls when you were a kid, but there was always that thick blue line that went right down the middle of our overalls. Then I'm going to get right above her cuff. This is our just like we did with the E44 on her hat. This is our contrast color to really bring those shadows out. And then her little pockets. And I'm just going to tone that down a little bit with my E93.
Susan said, I think I asked this before, but when I print these images with my printer, do I need to let them dry for a brief period of time before I color them so my Copic markers don't pick up the ink?
I would go ahead and test that. I don't think you've asked that before. I think other people have asked me that before, so I don't really remember. So we'll just say you didn't and call it good. But it really depends on the different printers. There's so many different printers, and they all use different ink types. I have, what do I have an Epson Eco Tank, and mine I can color right away. It doesn't matter. So I would go ahead, and even HP, a lot of the HP ink you can actually color right away as well. So the other printers I don't know. I only know HP and Epson, but I do know that the newer ones you can color right away. The other one, I would just take maybe a color you don't like and just go over it and see if it works or not. So just make sure it's a color you don't like, okay?
She said gotcha.
So just blending that E99 out just slightly. So now you guys are probably wondering about the circle.
She said she has an Epson.
Oh, okay. So you can go right. You can go for it right away then. So this is a Brisk Learner gel pen. It comes in. You can get several different sizes, or it comes in a box and it has like 5 different sizes. But this is the 0.5, and I'm actually just going to go over this. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but I'm just drawing thin lines And then I'm just going to pull it out a little bit, just flicking it out from the circle. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for you guys so you can see that a little better. But it's, I think that's about as close as I can get. But
Susie said
there is a little, like the little tear in the pants for you guys. What, Meadow?
Susie said, how cute. Kimberly said, and they're excellent gel pens.
Yeah, I love the Brisk Learner gel pens. So a friend of mine gave me another gel pen. My friend Helen gave me a gel pen. But it's, you guys won't believe this, some of my stuff is still packed from retreat. So I don't have it yet out yet to use. Unless Meadow undid it. Meadow's looking for it now. Oh, you definitely have holes in your jeans if you're working on a farm. So, but that is how you can do little rips in your jeans, which is a lot of fun. So now we're going to do our little heifers. Since we did Meadow, now we'll go on to the heifers. They're so cute. So I just did mine in E50, E51,
Yeah, I know where that went.
and E55.
Maybe it's in the drawer.
So let's see. I'm going to go ahead. I mostly color in the same way. Meadow, did you use different colors when you, what colors did you use?
50, 51, 53, 37, 35, and 33.
Okay, so you use different colors than I am. I might have you color one and then I'll color the other one. So you guys might get Meadow on here, just so you know. So let's see. So I'm going to go ahead. If you color one, which one you want to do, the standing one or the sitting one?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do the standing one. And I'm going to use E53 first. Do you have any of your cows left?
I got the one on the card. I don't know where the other one went.
Okay. The other one is out there. I meant to color.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, I think so.
So I'm going to get the underside of his belly. So that's definitely not getting any sun. What?
Yeah, I got something else.
Okay.
But I don't think they'd be able to see them on the camera.
That's okay. And then we're going to go ahead and do, so this bit right here, that's not a spot. Just so you know, that's its udder. That's not a spot. And when I was doing this, I didn't realize that I put an udder right next to a spot. So I was like, oh, oops. So, yeah. But as long as you guys know that that's an udder. So I'm going to get a little bit of his tail. And then just get right here behind his arm. I'm going to get his ears. I'm just getting the sides of his face. I'm not going to go into his little nose, though, this little part, though. I'm going to go ahead and do that pink. But I am going to get over the top of his nose. So let's see. And then this is E51. And it looks like I need to focus again. There we go.
Susie said that's utterly ridiculous.
Definitely ridiculous. Let's see, just getting, and this one I am pressing down a little bit harder. I'm not doing thin flicks with this one. And I usually do that with bigger spots as long as it's not hair. Let's see, I'm filling in his back foot because that's not going to get too much light. I'm just getting his hiney.
I don't know how to say this person's username, but they said I need those cows.
Thank you. Let's see. And then, let's see. The cows, if you haven't got your cows or your heifers yet, you can, or your stamp set yet, the link is down in the description. So let's see. And we will go ahead and just, I'm filling the rest of them in. And I'm just using E50 for the rest of them. Let's see, just getting the rest of his leg. I love these little cows, though. I think they're so cute. Actually, I just love the critters. Well, I love the girls, and I actually did Steve a boy this time. I don't know why I find it so hard to do boys, but I do. Maybe it's the clothes. I'm not sure. I don't know why, but clothes on girls are easier. So then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use E55. And again, it's just going to be a contrast color. So I'm going to get right behind his head and underneath his head. He has a very large head, this one. So I'm going to get behind his little arm. And we will get right here. And get under his belly a little. Get behind his udder so you know that it's an udder, not a spot. And then get right behind his little behind. His tail. And we'll get his little ears. Just a little bit. Oh, and we'll get up here on his little nose so that way it looks like his nose comes a little forward. And I'm going to smooth that out with my E51. There we go. There's really not that much to the cows. I think it's so they're fun to color. And I think most critters are fun to color just because it doesn't take quite as long as if you're doing people.
Kimberly said these images make me giddy.
Kimberly, I started to giggle at that because I can actually imagine you being all giddy about something. And then I swallowed and I started choking. There we go. So now for his spots, you can leave them white or you can color them in. I'm actually going to color them in.
Kimberly said, I didn't mean to make you choke with a bunch of cryy laughing faces.
That's okay. That means it was a really good laugh if you're choking, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use E25 last, but I'm going to start with E23. And I'm just going to go just a little bit on the bottom, get his back where the his head would be covering. And then we'll go ahead and get his tushy, his knee, the spot, not his udder. And then get this one from behind. This one I'm going to come up from his belly. And then this one around his face. I'm also going to get inside of his little nose holes. And then get the side of his face here. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some here. And then we have his little hair. His little foo-foo hairdo. Oh, and his tail. So his tail, I'm just going to go ahead and go around the outsides. And as you can see, I said sometimes I forget where the light is supposed to be and it doesn't make sense. Well, there you go. The light on his face really does not make that much sense. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out with E21. Because I wanted dark spots, but not super dark spots. So this just gives a little bit. And if you really, sometimes I'm like kind of going in circles to get that E21 to move or that E23 to move. And that just really kind of blends the E21 with the E23. If you kind of go in a circular motion instead of flicking. And that's what I'm doing to get them to blend the way they are. So I'm using a circular motion to go into the E23 and just mixing those two colors together. And that'll also give you a little bit of a different texture on that as well, instead of just flicking. There we go. Oh, I keep forgetting his tail. Goodness. And circular motions on his tail too. And then E25, I'm just going to put a little bit like in his little arms here. And then under the udder. Say that 10 times fast. And then, let's see, we'll get right here next to his face. And then I'll put a little bit right here. So, and I'll go ahead and pull that out a little bit with my E23.
Really said, so I made that top little hair on the cauliflower, because why not?
That's funny. That's cute. That's super cute. I like that idea. Okay, so now his nose, I used E93 for a little bit of it, especially around his little nostril bits. And then for his udder, I just went ahead and filled it in with E93. And then a little bit in his ears. And then I used R01.
It really said, well, truth be told, that's what I thought it was. Blonde moment.
Hey, that's okay. We can name him Fernandad. Nothing wrong with that. That's my favorite cow. And he loved his flowers. So that was R01. Now I'm going to use R000. And I'm going to go ahead and finish his little nose out.
She said they are just the cutest.
And finish out his little ears. And he has his little hooves down here. I'm going to do those in E44. And actually he should have one here, so I'm just going to color that one in.
Susie said yes, love Fernand.
And we'll just put one here. And then his horns, I'm just going to go ahead and make those E41. And to get them to come forward a little bit, I'll use E42. Or get his, so that it looks like they're behind his head. There we go. And there is our little heifer. So now Meadow is going to show you how she did her heifers. So we're going to switch spots, and I'm going to leave this until she gets over here.
Am I using that one or?
Huh?
Which one am I using?
What do you mean, what are you using?
That one or?
You use whatever one you want. You want to show them no line? Because that's what you're most comfortable with. Go right ahead. Okay. So you go for it, kiddo. You can do it.
Why do you?
Come on, guys. Cheer her on. She's nervous.
No. Did I cut it out?
Yeah, go ahead. Cut it out. Everybody's cheering you on. Kimberly says she's fantastic at no line. Megan says, yay, Meadow. So to get this no line, you can't really see it. I did it in Word to print it off. And in Word, if you just do the picture formatting, you can make the translucent different. So tell them what you're using, girl.
Well. So first I'm going to do the little spots with the E50 or 37. Oops. And I'm just gonna outline the outer bits of his spots. And I'm gonna do his little hair with the same color, or her hair. And her little tail. And I'm gonna use E35. Oops. There we go. I'm just gonna go over the E37. And then I'm gonna use E33. And I'm just gonna fill the rest of that out.
Looking good, girl. I didn't know that that's how you started.
Huh?
Go ahead. Let's see. So Kimberly says, come on. That's not what Kimberly said. Did you already read that one from Kimberly?
No.
I'll read it for you. Go ahead and color.
Okay. I'm going to start with R21 for his little nose and his udders. Did I do it? Yeah.
So Kimberly says, come on, girl, your coloring is amazing. Susie says, we all see your hands, Meadow. We love you, girl. Deborah says, just pretend we aren't here, but excited to see you color. Kimberly says, love seeing those sweet hands. Kimberly says, she's inspiring to me to try this.
Thank you, guys.
Speak louder, girl.
Thank you, guys.
And then Megan says, haha, I just printed the tractor set with lower transparency to try. Thank you, Meadow. You guys can't see it, but she's smiling really, really big. Meg says, you're doing awesome.
Thank you, guys. Now I'm going to use R21.
So you can also, if you want like a sepia, there's also a setting in Word that will, you can even change the coloring of it too.
I'm going to skip R20 because it's being all funky, and I'm going to just go to R12.
Oni! Hi, Oni! Say hi to Oni. You haven't seen her since you were... Good Lord, Oni. How long has it been?
Then I'm going to use R00. And I'm just going to finish the pink out.
So, Oni, you came in a little bit late, but you're getting to see Meadow color right now instead of me. $11 years? Yeah, that sounds about right. It's been a long time because Meadow, 11 years because Meadow will be 17 this month.
And then the pink is done. And I'm going to use E53.
So are you just doing the outline right now, Meadow?
Yeah, and then yeah.
So Deborah, when you said don't pretend that you're not there, she really is pretending that you're not there, I think, because she's not saying a word. Kimberly says she's concentrating. She is definitely concentrating because I think I saw her tongue come out a couple times.
Then I'm gonna use E51.
What are you going to do with E51?
Bring out the what's that called?
E53?
E53 a little bit. These little ears.
Deborah said, "Aw."
My hands look so dark and gross.
Your hands are not dark and gross.
They look dead.
On the camera, it's actually over here on your tablet. It's really bright. Megan says everything takes practice. Yes, definitely takes practice. And you guys are getting to see her very first time on video doing this live. So this is super special. You guys are breaking her in for me. Thank you. Because she will actually be teaching No Line at for our Christmas event. And then she's going to be teaching No Line at the retreat for next year as well.
Okay. Where did that go? I forgot to get some bits on his legs, so I'm just gonna go back with my E53 really fast.
So Deborah says a sign of a true artist, messy hands, which is true because if you don't have ink on your hands, you didn't have any fun. And then Megan or Meg, I'm gonna call Meg in Texas Meg, and then Megan here Megan to keep it straight. But Meg says, "Love it, way to go, Meadow." Kimberly's giving you little hearty hands. And then Megan says, "Get it, Meadow." Susie says, "No worries, Meadow. We're all friends here." And Kimberly says, "Agree, Deb."
Thank you, guys.
That is really coming together. It looks great.
Thank you. And then I'm going to use my E50 and just cover all of it.
That was so amazing, Meadow. Everyone has their things that they're good at, and this is definitely Meadow's thing because I cannot even do no line this well. Usually I'll try to do no line and I do not like it at all. So she definitely, this is her thing. She's really good at it. I love it. What color are you looking for, Ditto?
Gonna use W7 and make little dots for his eyes. Very carefully though, because it's kind of juicy. And then a little bit for his horns.
Kimberly says her problem with no line is bad eyeballs. Are you talking about your eyeballs, Kimberly, or the cow's eyeballs? Miss Julie says amazing.
Thank you.
And Deborah says amazing. What a talent.
Thank you.
And Kimberly said mine. Sister, I am right there with you. Oni says, I wish I could color like that.
Thank you.
I think most of us do, Oni. What did you just do at the top of his head?
Oh, I was using W6 to take out the W7 a little bit. And same with their little hooves, or her little hooves. I didn't do her eyes though. And then I'm using W5. I'm going to bring it all the way out.
Starting to sound like a pro, girlfriend. So cute. Kimberly says, right?
Oh. And I forgot on my last one I used this for her little...
What color is it? You marked your tips out of the way. There you go.
W7 for the little nose.
You lost its nostrils?
Yeah. Now I'm going to take gel pen.
Yeah, there's no way to stand that one up.
Give her little sparkles.
You know, if you do it like me, Kimberly's going to be upset and jealous.
Why? What do you do?
Because she said that she can't do the sparkles like I do.
Oh, well, then in that case, we're going to...
Kimberly says jail pen, like Jail pen, like prison pen.
Lots of little sparkles.
What is she? Your little heart down here is hiding what she says. She says, I can't, my, what?
Oh, she said my sparkles suck. No.
Your sparkles do not suck, Kimberly. Kimberly says that's what I'm going to call my gel pens from now on, her prison pen. Oni says Sparkles the cow. Definitely Sparkles the cow.
There we go. And that's it.
So, Kimberly, a little fun fact. Our last name, Bagney, is actually pronounced some other way in French. But in French, our name actually means, our last name means prison. So there is Meadow's cow. So that is it for today. Meadow's shown you a cow, and I showed you the cow and the meadow. Little farmer Meadow. Megan says, wow, such a talent. Kimberly says, get out. Kimberly said, it's fantastic. Megan says, perfection.
Thank you, guys.
So thank you so much for making Meadow's first time doing a live wonderful. Totally appreciate that. So now I can probably get her teaching a little bit more. So we will see you. Let's see. Megan says, thank you for spending time with us. Oni says, so awesome. So put down on your calendar for noon every Saturday this month. We're going to be doing a live. And then if you are in the Barn Raiser group, you will want to go ahead and take a look at the events and other things that are going on. Because we're going to be, there's the week of the 17th, there's going to be a lot more going on. So we're going to be playing a lot more games, bingo, scavenger hunt, which that's going to be hysterical. So you guys are going to have a lot of fun, and hope to see you guys there. And thank you, everybody, for donating. We really, really appreciate it. And we will see everybody next Saturday or in the Barn Raiser group, one or the other. So definitely see you guys here next Saturday. Oni, make sure you put it on your thing so we can see your beautiful face again. And let's see. Kimberly says she's so excited. Deborah says, what a great way to spend my afternoon. Susie says, looks adorable and great teaching. Julie says, glad we're here to witness her first Yay Saturdays. Susie says, thank you. Oni says, so awesome. So I'm so excited that we're going to be doing this, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Wave goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.